Traveling is often seen as one of life's greatest joys, a chance to explore new places, experience different cultures, and create lasting memories. For many, it's a way to celebrate retirement, mark a milestone, or simply enjoy the freedom that comes with later years. But as we age, the idea of travel becomes more complicated. After the age of 70, the excitement of seeing the world can be overshadowed by serious risks that many seniors don't fully consider until they're already facing them. While the allure of adventure remains strong, the reality is that travel at this stage of life comes with unique challenges that can turn a dream vacation into a stressful, exhausting, or even life-threatening ordeal. Let's take a closer look at why traveling after 70 requires extra caution. The first and perhaps most significant concern is the increased risk of health emergencies. As we age, our bodies become less predictable. Conditions like heart disease, high blood pressure, and respiratory issues can flare up unexpectedly. And when they do, being far from home can make managing them much more difficult. What might be a minor health issue at home, a sudden spike in blood pressure, for example, can quickly escalate into a serious situation when you're in an unfamiliar place, especially if you're in a foreign country where medical care isn't as accessible or reliable. Consider the story of James, a 74-year-old who had always loved traveling. He and his wife planned a 2-week cruise, thinking it would be a relaxing way to see new places without too much physical strain. But on the 4th day of the trip, James experienced severe chest pain. The ship's medical staff did their best, but he needed urgent hospital care. Because they were in the middle of the ocean, it took hours to arrange an emergency evacuation to the nearest port. James survived, but the experience left him shaken. What was supposed to be a dream vacation turned into a nightmare, one that could have been avoided had he considered the risks more carefully. James's story highlights a critical issue. Medical emergencies while traveling can be far more complicated for seniors. Long flights, for instance, increase the risk of deep vein thrombosis, DVT, a condition where blood clots form in the legs due to prolonged sitting. High altitudes can strain the heart and lungs, particularly for those with pre-existing conditions. Even something as simple as dehydration or heat exhaustion can hit much harder in an unfamiliar climate. Seniors are also more prone to infections, which means exposure to new bacteria and viruses in different locations can lead to unexpected illnesses. Medical insurance is another major concern. Many seniors assume their regular health coverage will apply wherever they go, only to find out too late that they aren't covered for medical treatment in another country. Without the right travel insurance, hospital visits, emergency surgeries, and even basic medications can result in massive out-of-pocket costs. Some seniors end up paying thousands of dollars just to get the care they need while abroad. This financial burden can add significant stress to an already difficult situation. So, what can be done to mitigate these risks? If you're over 70 and considering travel, it's essential to consult your doctor first. A full health assessment can help identify any potential risks, and your doctor can advise you on whether your planned trip is feasible. Make sure you have all necessary medications with you, and research the healthcare system in your destination. If you're traveling abroad, comprehensive travel insurance that covers emergency evacuations and hospital stays is a must. Being prepared can make all the difference between a smooth trip and a disaster. While health risks are a major concern, they aren't the only danger seniors face when traveling. Another often overlooked risk is the increased exposure to infections and contaminants. Crowded airports, packed airplanes, public transportation, and unfamiliar restaurants all create environments where bacteria and viruses thrive. For younger travelers, a minor cold or stomach bug might be a temporary inconvenience, but for seniors, these infections can lead to severe complications, hospitalizations, or even long-term health setbacks. As we age, our immune systems naturally weaken, making it harder to recover from infections. Respiratory illnesses, in particular, pose a significant risk to older adults. Studies have shown that seniors are more likely to develop complications from the flu, pneumonia, and even common colds, especially when exposed to new strains in different parts of the world. Airplanes with their recycled air and close quarters are particularly risky environments. Passengers are often packed closely together for hours, breathing in the same air, which makes it easy to pick up viruses. Food and water safety is another concern. Many travelers are excited to try new foods in different countries, but for seniors, unfamiliar ingredients, spices, and cooking methods can lead to digestive distress. Foodborne illnesses like norovirus, E. coli, and salmonella can hit older adults much harder, leading to prolonged illness, dehydration, and a severely weakened immune system. Locals may have built up immunity to certain bacteria in their water supply, but travelers often don't have the same protection. Something as simple as drinking tap water or eating a salad washed in local water can lead to serious stomach infections. Public restrooms, hotel rooms, and rental cars are other places where germs linger. Many people assume that because a place looks clean, it's safe. But surfaces like doorknobs, seatbelts, and tray tables are rarely disinfected as thoroughly as they should be. Seniors who rely on mobility aids like canes or walkers are at even greater risk, as they frequently touch public surfaces for balance. To protect themselves, seniors should take extra precautions when traveling. Wearing a mask in crowded areas, washing hands frequently, and carrying hand sanitizer can help reduce the risk of picking up harmful germs. Drinking only bottled or filtered water, avoiding raw foods in unfamiliar places, and sticking to well-cooked meals can help prevent foodborne illnesses. For those traveling internationally, getting recommended vaccines and carrying essential medications for stomach issues or respiratory infections is a must. Staying healthy while traveling is possible, but it requires vigilance, preparation, and a strong immune system. Health risks aren't the only concern, however. Travel fatigue and recovery challenges are another significant issue for seniors. Traveling may seem exciting, but for those over 70, the physical toll can be far greater than expected. Long flights, early check-ins, unpredictable schedules, and hours of walking can lead to exhaustion that is difficult to recover from. Unlike in younger years where a good night's sleep could recharge the body, older adults often find that fatigue lingers for days or even weeks after a trip. And when the body is tired, everything else suffers. Immune function weakens, coordination worsens, and the risk of illness or injury skyrockets. One of the biggest issues seniors face while traveling is disrupted sleep. Sleeping in an unfamiliar bed, dealing with noisy hotels, or adjusting to different time zones can make it nearly impossible to get proper rest. Sleep deprivation isn't just about feeling tired. It affects mental sharpness, weakens the immune system, and even increases the risk of heart problems. Studies have shown that seniors who travel across multiple time zones often take longer to adjust, meaning jet lag can last much longer than expected. This lingering exhaustion can turn an otherwise enjoyable trip into a miserable experience, leaving travelers drained instead of rejuvenated. Physical strain is another major concern. Sitting for long periods on a plane, bus, or train can lead to stiff muscles, swollen joints, and an increased risk of blood clots. For seniors with arthritis or circulation issues, extended travel times can cause discomfort that lasts long after the trip is over. And even once you arrive at your destination, the physical demands of sightseeing, carrying luggage, and keeping up with scheduled activities can quickly become overwhelming. What starts as an exciting vacation can quickly turn into a struggle just to keep up. Consider the case of Richard, a 75-year-old man who had always loved traveling. After retirement, he and his wife planned a 2-week vacation overseas, assuming it would be just as enjoyable as their trips in earlier years. But after a 10-hour flight, navigating a crowded airport, and adjusting to a 6-hour time difference, Richard felt exhausted before the trip had even begun. By the second day, he had trouble walking long distances, struggled to stay alert during tours, and found himself needing frequent breaks. By the time he adjusted, it was almost time to head back home, and he spent the following weeks recovering from the trip instead of enjoying his memories. Maintaining a usual diet and hydration levels is another challenge. Many destinations have unfamiliar foods that can cause digestive issues, and staying hydrated while on the move is often overlooked. Dehydration alone can lead to fatigue, dizziness, and confusion, making even simple activities feel like a struggle. Combined with poor sleep and physical strain, it's easy to see why many seniors feel worse after a trip rather than refreshed. To reduce the risk of travel fatigue, seniors should plan plenty of rest days, stay hydrated, and avoid overloading their schedule with back-to-back activities. Taking shorter flights with layovers to move around, packing nutritious snacks, and making time for naps can also help reduce exhaustion. But most importantly, recognizing personal limits and adjusting travel plans accordingly is crucial. A vacation should be enjoyable, not something that takes weeks to recover from. The physical toll of travel is a serious concern for seniors, but it's not the only hidden danger. Another significant risk is the increased likelihood of falls and injuries. As we age, our balance, reflexes, and bone density naturally decline, making us more vulnerable to accidents. A minor stumble in your own home might not seem like a big deal, but a fall while traveling, especially in an unfamiliar place, can lead to broken bones, serious hospital stays, or even permanent mobility issues. A single fall can change the course of a senior's life, turning what was meant to be a relaxing trip into a painful and costly ordeal. Many seniors don't realize just how different travel environments can be from what they're used to. Hotels, cruise ships, and historic sites often have uneven floors, poorly lit staircases, or slippery surfaces that make falling more likely. Some destinations have little to no accessibility accommodations, meaning simple activities like stepping onto a bus or walking on cobblestone streets can become unexpected hazards. In many places, emergency medical services aren't as fast or advanced as they are back home, meaning even a minor injury can take longer to treat, increasing the risk of complications. Take the case of Linda, a 78-year-old woman who had always dreamed of visiting Europe. She was in great shape for her age and walked regularly in her neighborhood without any problems. But when she arrived in Italy and started navigating the steep, uneven streets, she quickly realized it wasn't as easy as she thought. One evening, as she stepped off a curb in a dimly lit alley, she lost her footing and fell hard, breaking her hip. She was rushed to a local hospital, where doctors told her she needed surgery. Not only did she have to cut her trip short, but she also spent months in recovery after returning home. What was supposed to be the trip of a lifetime turned into an experience she wished she had never taken. Fatigue is another major factor that increases the risk of falls. Traveling often involves long days, irregular meal schedules, and disrupted sleep patterns, all of which can affect balance and coordination. When the body is tired, reaction times slow down, making a misstep or stumble more likely. For seniors with arthritis or joint pain, long walks through airports, train stations, or tourist sites can cause swelling and discomfort, increasing the risk of a sudden loss of stability. To reduce the risk of falls, seniors should choose destinations with good accessibility, avoid high-risk areas with uneven terrain, and always wear proper footwear. Walking sticks, supportive shoes, and staying well-rested can also make a big difference. Above all, recognizing personal limitations is key. No trip is worth sacrificing your long-term mobility and independence. Finally, one of the most unexpected dangers of traveling after 70 isn't just about health. It's about the financial risks that come with it. Many seniors assume that if they run into a problem while traveling, they can simply rely on their insurance or personal savings. But the reality is that travel-related medical emergencies, trip cancellations, and even financial scams can drain a person's bank account faster than they realize. For many seniors, a single unexpected event can turn a well-planned trip into a financial nightmare, leaving them with overwhelming expenses and stress. Medical care abroad is one of the biggest financial risks. Many seniors don't realize that their regular health insurance often doesn't cover treatment in foreign countries. This means that if you fall ill or get injured while traveling, you could be responsible for thousands of dollars in medical bills. Even in countries where healthcare is more affordable, emergency medical evacuations, such as being airlifted to a proper hospital, can cost tens of thousands of dollars. Without the right travel insurance, seniors could find themselves in a situation where they either pay an enormous bill out of pocket or go without the care they need. Trip cancellations are another major financial risk. Many seniors book trips months in advance, assuming they'll be in good health when the time comes. But life is unpredictable, and health conditions can arise suddenly, requiring a trip to be postponed or canceled altogether. Unfortunately, many airlines, hotels, and cruise lines have strict policies that don't allow refunds for last-minute cancellations, meaning seniors can lose thousands of dollars if they have to change their plans. Without proper trip insurance, recovering that money can be nearly impossible. Scams and fraud are another serious financial risk. Seniors are often targeted by scammers who prey on travelers using tactics like fake taxi services, overcharging for simple goods, or even elaborate schemes designed to steal credit card information. Many scammers specifically look for older adults who seem unfamiliar with their surroundings, knowing that they are less likely to notice a scam happening in real time. In some cases, criminals take advantage of seniors by offering fraudulent vacation deals that turn out to be nothing but an expensive trap. Consider the case of George, a 76-year-old man who had always been careful with his money. He booked a dream vacation to a tropical island, making sure to save up for every part of the trip. But when he arrived, he realized the hotel he booked didn't exist. He had fallen for an online scam. By the time he figured it out, his money was gone. And with nowhere to stay, he had to scramble to find another hotel, paying double what he had budgeted just to have a place to sleep. What should have been a relaxing trip became a stressful financial mess that followed him home. To protect themselves, seniors should always check if their health insurance covers international travel. If it doesn't, investing in a solid travel insurance plan that includes medical emergencies and trip cancellations is essential. When booking a trip, use only reputable companies and avoid deals that seem too good to be true. Be extra cautious with your money while traveling. Avoid carrying large amounts of cash. Be mindful of who has access to your credit card information, and never trust strangers with personal financial details. In conclusion, traveling after 70 comes with serious risks that many seniors don't consider until they're facing them firsthand. From unexpected health emergencies to injuries, exhaustion, infections, and financial pitfalls, each of these challenges can turn what should be a relaxing vacation into an overwhelming, even dangerous experience. While travel may seem like an exciting way to spend retirement, the reality is that after a certain age, it requires much more planning, caution, and awareness than it did in younger years. But does this mean seniors should never travel again? Not necessarily.